name is Nagwa. I am one of those refugee people arrived in Australia. Having my background, I born in Eritrea, left very little when I was 7 months. Grown up in Sudan as a refugee, made my way here. My mom, my granddad, and my uncle were all guerrilla fighter in the Eritrean independence struggle. This background shaped my childhood. Growing up understanding the importance of resistance, sacrifice, and standing for justice. Life was very hard, wasn't easy, but also of the stats of strength and pride gave me to make me who I am at this moment.
Who are you today?
I am a woman. You lose even those words to say who you are, to identify yourself, who you are. I'm a person that contribute positive to the society with all this kind of an experience or all these kind of skills I brought in with me, learning the differences between what I brought and who I am here.
Tell me about some of your happier memories from when you were a child growing up in Sudan.
There is that connection where you are or where you belong in that atmosphere, the family, although it was a bit hard and very tense as, growing up, seeing the struggle, seeing people are dying, you hear news and all that. But that connection as a child, where you grown up and having that childhood, the sense of family, the sense of, like you're closer to home. That kind of stuff you can now, when when you go to your memory, you sense it there. You wanted to bring it with you, or that kind of memory. And this is where, in next question, maybe you will see, they call it home away from home. And this is what I'm trying to bring with me, those memories.
How did you end up coming to Australia?
I was an interpreter, interpreting in Australian embassy, as I said, as a young woman. That time used to be, we were volunteer. So as a volunteer, we used to get a sponsor, like a sponsorship and a ticket for your reward as being, doing all that good stuff. And they need, give you credit or points because you're speaking the language and you're trying to help as a volunteer and all that.
What were your first impressions of?
As I said, the first impression, it's that culture shock is there. Although you are speaking the language, you understand everybody, but the system itself, until you understand it, until you know it, Australia, it's different. Obviously, that felt at the beginning with having welcome, shown. You have somebody to show you around and you welcome. That was fantastic. But later on, when you're trying to be part of the system, this is where there is a little bit of dilemma.
What has your life in Australia been like since you first arrived? What sorts of things have you done?
Yeah, I'm proud of who I am now, what I have achieved. Coming as a young person today, achieving in my study, achieving, building my own business. Today I educate women, I empower women. Recently I established, like a social enterprise where this is linked with the same as a restaurant, also to make people, my people, the women, to feel proud who they are. They can be trained there, to give them hands where they can learn English there. They can really get their, computer classes, connecting them to agency where they can really get a work into their own area where they want to. So who you are and what you're dreaming. So I wanted to be a positive contributor into this society, to my people, to Australian, as the generosity we got from here.
Australia has received or will soon receive 1 million refugees since 1947. How do you feel about being part of this story?
The number 1 million itself, tell us how powerful a story could be in 1 million, We are pleased to have that 1 million. So how can we take it to the next level? And this is where I wanted to be able to give as I receive. And this is where there's so many people, could be the mainstream and it could be our own community. Now, how can we work together?
Thinking about the Eritrean community, for example, what do you think the Eritrean community has brought to Australia?
I think the Eritrean community brought a bit of their own experience, their own struggle, their own resilience. How can they rebuild Australia together? And we have a lot of successful stories in Australia today. Young generation has studied and built their own family here, and starting from myself. So we built our own self, educating ourselves. Although we could have a lot of challenges, but still those resilience, those struggles made who we are. And we are building and we are going forwards. And I think we need to just be that strong for all of us as an Australian.
When you look back on your life so far, what are you most proud of?
When I look back at myself, coming back into as a young person here and going in the journey like anybody else going through that journey, make you feel a stop in your life. What have I achieved? But when you see the achievement, enormous achievement, building, yourself, like educating yourself. You did not stop, said, okay, the difficulty, I've got children. Still, I finished my third year degree even lately for social work. I am doing a social work. I've done my diploma in Monash University with a community development. I've done few like mediation, like a lot of education where I could parenting. I could help myself. I educate myself in Quran Tajweed, where I could teach other kids their own religion, their own stuff. I used to host for 30 kids. Teaching them their Arabic religion, and is still, educating women through the media, through connecting the young people. So this is where always, do you stop there? No. I started my own businesses. Even the obstacle, you can go beyond it, where you have kids, you have family, you've been looking after your own family. So back home also you need a support to give. So all that's build you when you see, said, wow, this is kind of, I feel proud of for who I am and what I have achieved with all that obstacle. And I wanted to give that one to other women to be really supported.
So why do you think the Australian government should keep on welcoming refugees?
This is a good question. Today, if we could see the opportunity we have here, it's a sharing. People today, we have problems in Africa or anywhere else. Tomorrow could be here. We don't know. It goes around. So having that, saying that we are all human beings, we can go through the same. So how can we support each other? How can we give an opportunity to people who need the support, who needs that hands? Nobody would love to leave their own home country unless they are really in need, not for luxury. First of all is the safety, how to be safe. And then could be coming education, study, work, building your lifestyle. But the safety is number one. If there is a lot of people going through a war, millions and millions of people, they are really under shelter, refugees camps. And this is not a good life there. And this is where we need to open our arms, our hands, and then we can build a good future for everybody.
Is there anything you want to say that we haven't covered yet?
The sacrifice of my family, the independence that I found in Australia, opportunity, I wanted to expand that to other people, to where we could use our skills and our opportunity to be to the here and back home, where we can link that and be a safe home and generation. We wanted to be able to give always. When you cannot give if you don't receive. And this is where I would say to the people, to the women, to the society, to could be all society, let's be one part. Today it's outside, tomorrow could be inside your home. And this is where we need to be together. So supporting each other will be the main key for us to live together in a safe environment. What makes me happy when I see people are achieving things, especially women. And when I see injustice is happening, and then I take the justice, it makes me happy. And I think this is where all equality comes here. We're all equal. No one is better than another. Could be skin, color, nationality, age, gender. We're all equal. We're human. If I feel like somebody who else treated unhumanly, that makes me miserable. Because we are far away to be treated with dignity. And this is where dignity and safety, it's our aim as a social worker. And this is where I went to and got a social work and advocacy, our main to advocate for ourselves and for our people.